How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Software Inc. Welcome back to Hard Mode. And welcome back to Nerdrosoft in our new fancy factory. I want you to know that there has been a fly in my office for the last 6 hours, and it's driving me absolutely crazy because I can see it circling around one of my lights right now. In fact, I can see it's just landed on my light. You can't see this, but I want to make you aware of this because it's annoying the heck out of me. I can't stand the things. If there's one creature that I just can't stand, it's flies. And this comes from a place of many years ago. I was having a really rough night. I was feeling kind of sick. And for whatever reason, there was a fly in my room that just kept flying into my face while I was trying to sleep. I don't mean it was landing on my face. I mean it was attacking me. It was flying at me and like hitting me in the face and waking me up every 30 minutes. And then I would get up and I would try to get the thing or open a door, a window, and it wouldn't go out. I couldn't catch it. I couldn't do anything. And then eventually I went and got my cat and held him up like Simba. So you've got me at like 4 in the morning in my underwear holding a tabby cat above my head who's like swatting his paws trying to catch it. It was a whole thing, and I'm very close to doing that again, except my cat's outside and I'm not sure where he is. I bring this up for no other reason than I imagine it would be so much worse if there was a fly in this office right here, because it would just have so much room to go around. In fact, it might be better, because there's a good chance the fly would leave me alone if it was in an office like this, rather than, you know, buzzing around my head! Anyway, things are going quite well for Nerdrosoft at the moment. We have had a degree of success with some of our recent releases. Roaster Coaster 2, of course, has now made $11 million. Sniffer has made $873,000. And most recently, in September of '94, which has just recently passed, we have Morph going out, the first ever 3D editor on the market. It has made us $6.1 million thus far. Now, of course, we are now working on Bucket 4. We're going to keep that franchise going. We haven't put out a Bucket since 1988. It's almost 10 years since the last version of Buckets. And we have Morph 2, which we're working on as well. Now, neither of those are being published by a third party, which means we need to get our hands, and just speaking of that fly a moment ago, it just hit my monitor where I'm recording my audio. We need to get our hands on a marketing team. So I'm going to lease this office right here, and I'm going to go in and I'm basically going to grab all of this furniture and I'm going to duplicate absolutely everything because I'm completely unoriginal, and honestly, a marketing team, they kind of just need phones. They need the same stuff as any other team. So we'll go ahead and set this to be this color, the floor to be this color, and that is fine by me. I might decorate this room a little differently at some point, but this will do for the marketing team for now. I'm also wondering, it's 1995. Can I replace these computers with laptops? I absolutely can. Now, their durability is not quite as good. Their electricity consumption is less, but they're better for the environment and they're not as noisy. So absolutely, let's go and select the building, or rather select the entire building, and then select all of the computers, and then replace all of the computers with laptops, so that the environment in all of the rooms is now that little bit better. So what we can go ahead and do now is essentially, well, we can speed the game up so it's not quite as dark, but essentially we're just going to make another team, and we're going to make them a marketing team. And what I'm wondering for the marketing team is if I set them to work on both Sniffer and on Roaster Coaster 2. Now, both of those came out a while ago, but I might be able to crank the marketing back up on them, and it might be a good way to start a marketing team. So let's go into teams. Let's go down to new team and marketing, and we'll add them right here. We have red, yellow, blue. Let's go for sort of a green color for the dollar bills that the marketing team is going to make. I'm never going to say that again. And actually, while we're on this screen, I want to do a little something, which is very simply, I want to change the vacation dates of a lot of my teams. This was pointed out in the comments on, not the last episode, the one before that, I think. What is this, part 7? So part 5, someone was like, hey, you always leave the default vacation time for your teams. So I'm thinking we could change that up a little bit. We'll move these guys to like June into July. We'll have the support team go on vacation in August. I'm actually going to give them a, let's see, vacations will be spread out amongst employees in the selected team using this range. The actual length of the vacation is determined by the employee benefits. I'm going to stretch out the support team vacation to 5 months from August till December. And I'm going to say marketing is going to be from March for 3 months. So that way support don't all go on vacation at the one time. And then these guys can be, I guess July to August is fine. I just want to stretch them out a little bit, just change the vacation ranges and see if my employees will be, you know, a little bit better with all of that. We will go into marketing though, and we will start setting up some HR stuff. So handle wages, handle complaints, hire them for the best roles possible, educate them to the best of your ability, 5 of them at a time. Service, I think, is going to be 19 because there's 20 desks in each room, and their specializations, very, very simply, will be marketing. And I want their traits to be fast learners. Possibly no specialization limit, but I think fast learners is the way to go. No just the flu, and no breaking my computers. And we'll go for medium salaries as well. So let's get ourselves a team leader and see what we can do here. So lead, secondary service, salary, medium, and we'll not bother sorting by compatibility or anything like that. So who has the highest skill at the moment? It's going to be Moses Burton. We'll call him Moses. And he can do, interestingly, he can't do HR. I need someone that can do HR. That's kind of a big deal. So we have Terry Barr, who can do, you can't do meetings, and that's slightly frustrating, but that might be for the best, to be quite honest. Christina Malone can do HR and automation. Automation's not really needed. And then you can do multitasking. I think we'll go for Terry Barr. That seems like a good shout. So we'll go ahead and hire you for the marketing team, and then we'll make you the team leader. We'll set you to run everything, and everything should be good. So change roles to leader, and you can secondary absolutely everything else. So now the marketing team should very quickly end up with 20 people in there. And there we go. We have ourselves a marketing team. They're all coming in to do their thing, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Roaster Coaster 2, and I'm going to say, let's start marketing this. We're going to give it to the marketing team, and we'll give it a budget of, I'm going to say $20,000 on that one. We'll do the same with Sniffer as well. We'll go ahead and start marketing that with the marketing team for a budget of about $10,000. I'm not expecting miracles here. I know that $20,000, $10,000 is not a tremendous amount of money, but they are old pieces of software, so we kind of have to accommodate for that. And I mean, we could look into updating Roaster Coaster 2. We're not actually making a Roaster Coaster 3, and it is now a almost 5-year-old game. So maybe we should do that. Maybe we should look into a Roaster Coaster 3. Or maybe we should look into updating Bucket and then using it to update Roaster Coaster 2. That might be the way to do it. We'll throw this on source control. We'll give this to 3D and Core, and we'll see if we can very, very quickly push an update out for Bucket 3, which, like I said, we can then turn it around and turn it into something for Roaster Coaster 2. We probably do want to look at a Roaster Coaster 3, though. That's something I feel like we slightly slipped on, and we've slightly forgotten about the fact that it exists, which kind of sucks, because Roaster Coaster 2 has been a relatively decent success thus far, so we might want to do something about that. We might want to pay attention to that. Now, we just went up by nearly $1 million. How are we looking on these guys? So it looks like marketing actually did just increase the amount of money coming in. If we look at the details on Roaster Coaster 2, the money did go up a little bit. So that's not actually too bad. I'll take that. That's quite good. We will, I think, after Morph 2, I think that's when we can probably look into bringing back Roaster Coaster. Although we might want more teams for it as well. That's another thing I've seen. Oh, we're being robbed, really? That is another thing that I've seen. have they successfully robbed me? No, they've been arrested. They took my servers. That's probably what's going on there. I'd like to restore that because that does impact my, my store and all that stuff. We might actually want to get some security cameras out there now that I think about it. But what I was getting at is we might want to look into a few additional teams for a few additional things. And what I'm thinking for the most part is that we could lean into the idea of getting ourselves maybe, I don't know, maybe some kind of full, design team, full programming team, full artist team. This is something, I can't remember who it was in the comments in part 5, but someone mentioned that maybe doing that, maybe getting some dedicated teams for design, for programming, and for art would be an idea. And I know that can work. I've done that before in previous series with Software Inc., and I'm sure they'll be on the channel somewhere. I've played this game a lot. The thing is, I don't know that it would work so much anymore because your employees do get overwhelmed when you give them too much to do. So I almost wonder if just having one big design team and one big programming team would potentially be a bad idea. It might be something we experiment with, but I know that what I can do is have a 2D design team and then a 3D design team and then a 2D programming, 2D art, 3D programming, 3D art. We can sort of do it that way, and then you only assign them to things when they're kind of needed on it. But at the same time, I think the same issue would happen. They would still get overwhelmed, so you would probably need multiple, 2D design teams for different things. And I think it would just end up being a series of, 10-person teams, right? The 2D design team would be about 10 people, and then the 2D programming team would be about 10 people. 2D art would maybe be about 5 people. So it could work. I definitely think that's something to look into when we get around to building our own structure, which we could do. We have $16.8 million. That is more than enough to move out into our own building. But I'm kind of enjoying the Hardware Inc. building right here, and there's quite a few more floors that we can go to right now. So I think we'll stick with what we have for the time being, just because, we might as well. Although what I am going to do is look into some print jobs. What do you want? May of 95? I don't think so. October, November. We can take the Mafia Tycoon 2016 in 1995. Sure, we'll accept that. We can absolutely get that done. Let's also look at marketing tasks, though, and maybe some hosting. I just feel like marketing, this one is what? 22,000 per day, 13,000 budget per day. And this is going to go on until December of this year. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to give it to my marketing team. And I'm going to take this one as well and give it to my marketing team, because essentially it's experience for them. And that's essentially all I really care about is my marketing team getting some experience in, their particular field. So we'll go ahead and let them go nuts with that contract. And did I take the other one? That was not the button I was looking for. That is also not the button I was looking for. I'm looking for deals. This one, accept it. So we'll give them those. Wait, did another one just come in? No, it was a print job. Never mind. Yeah, we'll give them those. My marketing team can deal with it. It'll get them experience. It'll help them level up. And by the time we get around to marketing Bucket 4 and Morph, we'll hopefully be in a good place. Now, I will say the idea that I mentioned with regards to all the different teams, such as a 2D design team, 2D programming, 2D art, that can also apply through HR management. So for example, if I went in here and I said that I want a 2D team, we'll create that team real quick. I'm not going to keep this team, but just for example, let's say that we get to a stage where everything we're doing is going to require a decent number of programmers and designers and all of that. We could go in here and say that the budget for this team is $3 million. Handle wages, do all that stuff. And role selection is hired for. So what that means is the role that someone is hired for is the only thing they will do. They won't dabble in other things. Education level is whatever. We'll say 3. We're going for level 3 education. We'll say 10 of them at a time. And let's say we're at a stage where everything we're making is starting to require a good number of 2D programmers. We could say, 15 of them, right? And then that means maybe a good number of designers, 15 of those, and then not that many artists, let's say 10 of them. That's going to give us a single team of 40 people who can do everything from 2D programming to design to art. Obviously, no service and specializations are going to be very simple. In this case, it is 2D development, and that's it. That is all they need to do. Their traits would be fast learner and none of this that we usually go for, and salaries in this case will probably be quite high. That would give us everything that we need for a 2D team that can just be thrown at different tasks. The problem is that while there's 40 people on this team, they will still get quite stressed out. They will still get quite annoyed if I give them too much to do. So we'd probably need multiple 2D teams. Now, we can copy it. We could go and do, you know, this and be like 2D2, right? And then if we need another one, go and copy it and be like, oh, 2D3, and so on and so on. So it's a thing we can do. We can absolutely go in and get these teams that are very good at specific areas of development, and that's maybe something we're gonna do. I don't know for sure. We'll kind of figure that out. Now, it seems that creativity on Bucket is lacking a little bit. Let's go ahead and make both Bucket 4 and Morph the priority for their specific teams, because I mean, Bucket 4 shouldn't be taking this long. It's a 2D editor. We've made 3 of these things, so hopefully they'll get through this design. There's still that first iteration, which is kind of miserable, and Morph is almost ready to go into active development, as is, you know, this update on Roaster Coaster 2. It's coming along quite nicely as well. The good news is we're still making money, right? We're still turning millions in sales per month, which is kind of wild. Morph has started selling very, very well. We actually might want to look into updating it, or at least fixing, yeah, we need to fix those bugs. We probably need a support team to specifically fix bugs. I feel like with the money we're making, a support team to fix bugs is probably a really good idea. So let's go ahead and lease another office. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this, and we're going to duplicate it again because I'm really boring like that. And let me go and grab the office, grab this room, and we'll just go ahead and paint it exactly the same way. And then we need to figure out what tech support need, right? So we'll go in. Team name is going to be, oh god, we already have a support team. I guess the Fixers, right, is what we'll go for. We'll make a team called the Fixers, and they can just sort of have the same kind of color as support, because that's essentially what they are. Their vacation time is going to be 6 months from like January to June, I guess, and they can just come in at the same time as everybody else. So that's fine. The Fixers are going to work in here, and everybody else can get out of that office. I'm not sure why they've gone in there. And I guess the Fixers are the ones that are going to do the bugs, right? So we need to figure out what bug fixing requires exactly. So if we look at Roaster Coaster, we're already working on it. Sniffer, update, bugs. So it doesn't really say. I have to imagine it would be programmers, right? I have to imagine it's got to be programmers. Let's have a look at HR management. Let's actually go into build mode real quick so the music starts playing. And let's see what we're doing here. So service, specializations, what have we got? Support, marketing, law. I really don't know what we need for this. I've never really, I mean, I have thought about this, but I've never looked into what exactly bug fixing requires. I have to imagine it's support? No, it wouldn't be. It'd be development, right? I guess, I mean, we're not going to need artists. We probably don't need designers either. So let's try 19 programmers. Education level there. We'll do, 10 on that. Traits will be our usual bunch of traits, and I'm going to say age or salary medium on this one, with a budget of like 2 million, just to see what happens. And then role selection is, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. We'll just do best roles, right? So that'll be fine for the fixers. And that's the way that's going to go. We just need an employee that can run the team. So your secondary is programming, your salary is medium. We'll begin looking, and we're looking for someone that can do HR and, I guess, multitasking. Who's the youngest we got in here? We got you. We've got you. You can't do hiring. I'd like someone young that can do hiring, which means 3-star HR, which is so far none of these people. Still absolutely none of them. Come on, there we go. Cliff Murphy. You will do perfectly. Your compatibility with marketing would be terrible, but you can go to the fixers and build whatever kind of team you want there, fella. Now, I realize Vapor 2 is ready to go, so let's go ahead and just get that thing out there. We're going to have to support it, of course, and we're going to have to look at some updates for it as well. So we'll bring everything that we can up to date. We'll give this to the fixers, and they're missing a level 1 2D artist. How do we... All right, well, not really sure. Not really sure what I expected there. Give it to the core team as well, and hit that with an update, I guess. Morph, is it being updated right now? I don't really know. If it's a bug fix, I guess we can give it to the fixers, right? That's all we need to do. So we'll give the fixers that. Sniffer is, if it's systems, then I think we can give that to the fixers as well. Roaster Coaster is already being worked on down here, and Bucket 3 is just bugs as well. So we can go ahead and get the fixers doing all of that. I do need this Vapor 2 update to kind of be a priority, though. It's kind of a big deal that one gets done. So bring you... I mean, you're almost done, so that update is actually done. The bugs aren't, but that's okay. We'll go back in here, and we'll give the fixers the bug fixing for that guy. And hopefully we can get this Vapor 2 thing done. Now, looking at Vapor 2, it has a 15% cut of the market. The quality is not actually that good. The features, tech levels, and stability, on the other hand, are surprisingly decent. So, wait, no, I don't. I've got a 3.2% market share, not a 15% cut of the market. And I'm actually going to bring this down to 10% so we can compete with Foy Digital. I'm not happy about the quality of Vapor 2. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't love that it's not very good. Now, something that's very interesting here is that the fixers are getting massively, massively stressed. They are not having a good time at all. And I don't necessarily love that. Now, they are also having issues with noise. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and lease another office here, and I'm going to set this to be a lounge, I guess. And then, well, maybe a canteen. I think we'll do lounge for now. And we'll see what we can do in terms of just making this space decent for my employees, right? So we could go for leather couches. I kind of like this modern couch right here. So we'll go for maybe a couple of these. Maybe, let's see. What about one there, one there? Do a nice lamp in between them. And what else can we do? We could do a couple of vending machines. We could do some coffee machines. We can do a water cooler, which honestly, I like the idea of a water cooler sort of in that corner. So we'll go for that. We really should do some coffee machines and things like that as well. So let's go for a couple of glass tables. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what we'll do is get ourselves a nice espresso machine and espresso machine, or espresso machine if you prefer, which I really hope you don't. We'll get a couple of instant coffee machines there as well. And what we'll do is throw a vending machine and a vending machine and possibly a couple of little fridges there just to, you know, make the place look... I mean, it doesn't look good, but it works, right? That's kind of what we're going for. What I am going to do is go into the office category and get some cubicle walls. And essentially, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, just to sort of break the place up a little bit. So there's almost sort of a sense of privacy in here. I mean, there isn't. It's just a big, you know, 2 of the walls are glass, but I think this helps a little bit just to break it up a little. And I'm kind of here for it. I think we'll also go ahead and do something like this. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know if I do like that part. I like these ones, though. I think these ones are pretty cool. And I suppose what we could do with that is throw more break room stuff in there. So maybe just bookshelves. Doesn't really matter if it makes sense. I don't know if my employees are going to use it. Oh, we have TVs as well. Interesting. Okay. I don't necessarily know where I'm going to put these. It would be cool if you could put them on the cubicle walls. I'm just saying, it would be kind of cool if that was a thing you could do, because then you could sort of like, I don't, use them as actual walls. I mean, they're not, they're cubicle walls. They're not, full on walls, but it would be kind of cool. I'm just saying it would be kind of cool. And there we go. We have ourselves some kind of weird lounge room. I'm not really sure if it's actually going to get used for much. I mean, we have people using they're using the water cooler, I guess. They don't seem to be using anything else. They're not using the coffee machines. So, I mean, this might have all been for nothing. I might just have to turn this into a canteen, to be quite honest with you. But for now, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if it helps some of my employees chill a little bit. And it actually looks like, yeah, they are starting to come in here and get some food now, which is good. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of them be a lot more relaxed and a lot happier and able to just do more around the office. It seems like the fixers are still working despite getting very, very stressed, which is to be expected. They have a lot of things that they need to do. There's also currently nearly 2,500 bugs, or tickets rather, queued for Vapor 2, which is definitely a bit of a pickle. Definitely a bit of a problem, and that's going to make for a lot of tickets, a lot of bugs rather, on Vapor 2 right there. So hopefully we can figure that out. Now, what are these deals we got coming in? Hosting, interesting. And antivirus software as well. Okay. We might want to look into a hosting server, to be quite honest. It might not be a bad idea. I mean, we have a decent little server down there. We have some space that we could turn into a hosting server as well if we really wanted to. Might not be a bad idea to look into getting some kind of hosting server for all this stuff. Take some deals, make some money. We're at 26 million. We're still turning, what is it? 1.2 million in September, 1.1 million in August. Still turning 3.3 million in sales overall, and actually halfway through October, 2.8 million in sales, which begs the question, where is that money coming from? 2.2 million last month on Morph. That is kind of wild. That really is kind of crazy. None of that's coming in from licenses either. That is, I think, entirely sales. Although that does... Oh, distribution. 900,000 spent on distribution. 400,000 spent on royalties. We really need to look into... Oh, we really need to look into making just more of our own stuff so that we don't have to, I guess, pay royalties and license fees. Let's go ahead and take the core team off of this Vapor 2 update and let the fixers just work on it. In fact, let's finish the Vapor 2 update and update it again, which is going to be the core team looking at that one again. That's fine. We'll go ahead and queue that update, let the fixers slowly work on it. Fixers can continue to work on the sniffer update there as well. And it looks like this Vapor 2 update is actually going very, very quickly, which I assume is because the core team was working on it. So we'll finish that and we'll apply an update again. This time, it's just the fixers going to be working to update Vapor 2. And the reason I want it to be just those guys is because we really need that core team to be working on Bucket 4. And it does seem like the core team is struggling with its 2D stuff right now. So that's something to look into. Also, hold on a minute. Our sales, wow, 6.1 million. Hold on a second. Did Morph 2 just, where did the 6.1 million just come from? What? How did we just double our sales essentially in a single month? It's got to be Morph 2, right? 185,000 active users. It's definitely not going to be Roaster Coaster. Yeah, it definitely isn't Roaster Coaster. Let's actually go ahead and just end marketing for both of my things, and we'll kind of let the deals be what trains our marketing team. And with this money coming in, I've got to be honest, it's getting very difficult to justify not building my own studio. Also, with this number of tickets coming in for Vapor 2, it's getting very difficult to justify not, how did they just get 24% of the market share? What? Why is no one coming to me to use my platform? How have they managed to get 19 companies signed to this? What, they're worth 208 million. That's probably how they're doing it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to start spending ridiculous money to put software on my platform, aren't I? That's exactly what I'm gonna have to do. So we have a simulation game, Mafia Tycoon 2016 just came out. How much for exclusivity? 22 million! Oh god, Virus Remover 4, how much? 1.4 million for a 6-month, 1-day exclusivity deal. Oh man, how much for you? 5.8 million. How much for this game? They're not even interested. They don't even care about me. I'm not even on their radar. Those are operating systems. Those are phone operating systems. What? I do love how they look right down there. I love that. Oh man, I feel like I'm so far behind. I feel like by this stage of my previous series, I was working on phone operating systems. I feel like I don't remember. I might be just making this up and misremembering. But I feel like I was trying to get out the gate with like one of the first phone operating systems. And all I've managed to do in the 15 years since launching this company is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, 3 of which didn't make money. That's ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. How are the other companies stacking up to me right now? I'm still third from the bottom. Like there's companies coming out and just like making things and immediately surpassing me. What did you guys do? You did an audio tool. You want 14 million for something that made 5.3 million. You want me to give you 14 million to keep it on my store exclusively for 6 months. It's wild. I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand how digital distribution works. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm here for it. It's interesting, I'll tell you that, but it is kind of wild at the same time. It really is. So as Morph 2 moves into alpha, we are running into a bit of a problem where the original Morph is starting to suffer in terms of its support. So I'm going to bring the priority down on Vapor 2 and bring the priority up on the original Morph so that they're both sort of, you know, getting a fair deal with it, you know, with support and all that stuff. Hopefully it doesn't make us suffer in terms of our profits, right? Morph is still turning millions of dollars, I think. Last month was 1.2 million. So yeah, Morph is doing okay. And it might even be something we want to look into updating, which, I mean, we do have a lot of bugs to fix in there. So we'll give that to the fixers and hopefully it's not going to overwhelm them too much. In terms of porting this thing, there is still nothing else to port it to, which is kind of wild to me. Looking at let me see here, the details for this guy. What is it available on right now? So it's only available on these operating systems with a maximum total of how many consumers? 3 million. How many units have we sold? So we have sold not even 500,000. So we are about 1/6 of the way through the potential consumers. Has anyone else come out with a 3D editor thus far? They have not. Morph is still the only one in the market. In terms of the event calendar, that is a deal that I'm working on. That's a sports game, RTS game, 2D editor. What about 97? Aha! Power Styles in December of 97 is a 3D editor. That is trouble, to be honest. That is trouble. I'll tell you what we're going to have to do then. We're going to have to announce a release date. We're going to have to try and undercut that. And we're going to have to say October of 97 is when Morph 2 is going to come out. So let's go ahead and start looking at marketing this guy. We'll start throwing a press release out there. We'll give that to the marketing team. No one as competent as a level 3 marketer. You know what? No, we'll not continue that. We'll go with that. We'll throw out a press build as well, which might be terrible, but that's fine. I'm not super stressed about it. I just want the world to know that Morph 2 is coming out before the other one, whatever it was called. That's the important thing here, is that people are aware that Morph 2 is going to be a thing. Now, let's see. Pre-release review of Morph 2. Nerdrosoft is ready to show off Morph 2. Let's see what they have to offer. Nerdosoft is not well known in this market. We haven't really heard about Morph 2. They'll really have to polish it, but it has all the new features. It won't be out for a while. What do you mean I'm not known in this market? I am the only company to date that has put out a 3D editor. I am the market. All right? I am the one who morphs.